Beer Fridge Podcast. Hello and welcome to another weekly episode of the Beer Fridge Podcast. Real beer, real breweries, real opinions. Your weekly AA meeting. Nice to see you all for the new year. Your usual buddies, or my usual buddies, are here. Scott and Callum. Good evening.
Hello.
Like I said, our usual AA meeting. Arseholes Anonymous, Antisocial Anonymous, Arseholes Association, a Cunts Club.
Nice.
All fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, no, I'm doing that again.
No, that sounded all right.
Fuck, I'll leave it. As always, when you listen to this podcast, make sure you subscribe, hit the ding-a-ling link to be notified of all the latest episodes. You can show your support by giving us a 5-star rating or head to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Beer Fridge Podcast, where there's a new introductional level on our Patreon page. You can show your support by doing so. Head to the website. All right, we are going to start off with a little approval. No more going around the virtual table, but now a wee insight to whether we approve our first beer or we think it's fucking shite and you shouldn't touch it. Technically the same kind of thing we did before. However, renaming it 2023, Happy New Year. We're shaking it up a little bit. Why the fuck not?
Change as good as a rest.
Exactamundo. Right, Cal, what you got?
Well, I definitely approve of this beer. Picked it up at High Spirits in Edinburgh for the weekend, but I'm glad I saved it for tonight. And it's New Barnes and Donzoko's Autumn Beer. First plus point is that it comes in one of these cool Red Bull style 330ml cans, which I love. A slight downside, there's absolutely no information on the can at all, so I've had to do a little bit of digging. And I'm kind of glad I did, because it made me do a wee bit of research on the fly. So the beer itself is it's a Harvest Pale Ale, and it's using something called a sour gut.
Right.
So basically, a wee bit of school here for you. A sour gut is, it's basically like a sourdough starter, but for beer. So basically, what they've done is they've made the wort for a brew, and they've soured it using a culture from their own farm, from their own New Barnes farm.
Mm-hmm.
And the sour gut culture sits as sour wort, and then whenever they want to sour a beer, they'll pour some of this into the beer, and then they'll top it up with fresh wort, and they just keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. So it changing all the time, but and the new wort that gets added gets soured by the lactobacillus that's already in the sour gut culture, and this is added to this particular Harvest Pale 5%, and then it's dry hopped with UK hops, which I'm a massive fan of, and it's Jester and Cascade are the hops. But this beer is super. Look at the colour of that. It's absolutely, it's beautifully pale golden colour. It's not sour. I think the culture kind of gives it a bit of a winey flavour. It's my first taste. It was like, it reminded me of like a sweet white wine, almost like that kind of Schlur juice that you used to get when you were wee at Christmas time. That kind of sweetness has maybe died off slightly as it's maybe getting some air. But it's really quite complex. The malt is singing, all the right notes. The hops are just providing that sort of descant across the top, and I just love it. It's such a nice flavour. I think, Scott, if you're in High Spirits or near High Spirits, you must go in and get a can of this beer and try it.
Well, that sounds the bollocks. We know, obviously,
we're ringing an endorsement of that.
I know, 100% approve that beer, definitely. And like, it's obviously coming off the back of their summer beer as well, which they did obviously during the summer, funnily enough.
You sang the praises of that summer beer, didn't you?
And it was astounding. Yeah, really good.
We'll look forward to hopefully more collaborations between those two this year. That'll be pretty exciting, because if they can start off with those beers, then fuck knows what they could do. I'm sure they can do some big things. Looking forward to that. Scott, are you approving your first beer, or are you been in it?
I think I would be laughed out if I didn't approve it. So I'm having, based on January being the suppose a month where you could conceivably, although I probably won't, cut back a wee bit on ABV intake. I decided I would go with one of the best low alcohol offerings available, and that's the Colonel's Table Beer.
Oh.
So it's 3.1%. This one is Centennial and Amarillo, and it's superb, as expected, and has been for a long, long time. I think it gets any better if you're going for a lower ABV beer than the Colonel. A few different options available in the A Year in Beer book I'm reading by Craft Beer Channel's Johnny Garrett. And the Colonel's Table Beer was one of the top ones on the list. Remembered I had a can or a bottle, in the fridge. So I decided to crack open the wee 330ml bottle that I've got of it, and it's amazing. It's just perfect colour, a lovely golden colour. Obviously, you've got the ability to choose whether you want, because it's bottle conditioned and there's a wee bit of sediment in there, whether you like that or not. I, for one, like it because it gives it a wee bit of haze.
Yeah.
And gives it a bit of an extra oomph, I think, on the palate and stuff as well.
Gives you something to chew on.
Exactly. Superb head retention, and it's just different class. You get enough body to feel that it's not lacking anything, but it's still pretty light ABV wise, and we've spoken about it loads of times.
Yeah.
The 500ml bottle of Colonel's Table Beer will see you through an evening where you're trying to keep it somewhat sensible, no problem at all, and you'll enjoy every bit of it and not miss the stronger ABV stuff at all. So yes,
Definitely.
approved.
100%. It's one of those beers and what that's when you mention a style. So when you say table beer, it's the first beer that comes to your head. It doesn't matter who you talk to. It's the first beer that you think of, the Colonel Table Beer. I don't think there's any other beer, and feel free and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no other beer I can think of where if you say a style, it's just everybody says the same beer as like the excellence A star. I can't think of a single one, but that's the one. Table beer, fucking awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Excellent beer. I myself, as you may know, if you listened to a couple of podcasts ago, kindly received a care package from the guys at Forest Road, and I've managed to still have one can, God knows how, of their Jupiter, their double IPA, 8.7%, double IPA. And this is a Westy style kind of double IPA, so it has got that resinous, it has got that little bit of bitterness in the back of it. Nice and light, cracking wee beer, to be fair. And again, thank you to Forest Road for sending me the beers, because I've thoroughly enjoyed them. I don't know actually how I've managed to keep one this long, to be fair. I do know. It's because it's been Christmas and New Year and everyone's been sending me nice beers. And I doubled up my bruiser. But I thoroughly enjoy it. It's cracking wee beer. They do it on an annual release, so I suspect we won't see this again until next November, December. So I'll look forward to next year's launch. I like when beers do that. I like when it's a seasonal thing, so to speak, and you can go 12 months in advance and pick up the new rendition of that beer. Like, what's the one that's always fucking shouted about every year? No, Paul.
Putty
Yes.
does come out soon, normally about the end of it'll be readying itself now. Another beer mentioned in Johnny's book is Putty, their double IPA, and it'll be sitting mellowing perfectly about this time, ready to hit, just as he says, the wheels fall off the wagon at about the end of January. So
probably a perfect time. It's a perfect time for our release, to be fair, when everyone gets fed up
for
with
something that
January.
heavy, when everybody's getting ready to flick the switch back on again.
But you mentioned the book a couple of times, so we may as well dive into it. Johnny Garrett's A Year in Beer.
Very briefly, because I'm only half of the first chapter in, but it's excellent so far. So it's basically a kind of half history, half walk through like modern equivalents or how things are now, and harking back to a bit of kind of Johnny's statement, I suppose, about getting back to, or having, just because we've got the choice to, doesn't mean we should abandon what was good about drinking seasonally. So obviously it goes back through kind of history to, it mentions really cool things in the first chapter, like pasteurization in the introduction in first chapter, pasteurization when that came in, refrigeration, Anheuser-Busch is in there.
Yep.
Right back to Belgian monks, goes in quite in depth on burnt mills, their cool ship
All right,
and how
well,
that works, and
Yeah.
open air brewing, spontaneous fermentation as well. Kind of goes in depth on that. And then also at the beginning, it looks like at the beginning of every chapter, he kind of offers a what to, based on the season or whatever, what to drink, what to eat, and what to kind of
oh,
enjoy as you like.
we food pairings as well.
There's a wee food pairing right at the beginning as well, which is excellent. The other kind of the beers that he comes up with, so there's a couple of, not dry January, because this thing is kind of, if you want to be sensible, but don't be
Aye.
ridiculous and get rid of it altogether. So you've got kind of low alcohol stuff, so you've got hotbeds, looking out for Northern Monk stuff.
Yep.
Lucky Saint I mentioned, Nirvana Brewing, who I'd never heard of before.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
okay.
definitely be looking them up. Big Drop, who we've heard from before, soon to be joined by Mash Gang, I presume, just purely based on them being excellent. There's also table beers from the Small Beer Company, I mentioned, the Kernel, and Beaks table beer also being mentioned.
Yes.
Which is good company for Beak to be in. And then it goes on to Verdant Brewing release their much vaunted double IPA putty. Heavy use of Galaxy hop means it benefits from plenty of time mellowing over Christmas. It was released just in time to be the perfect way to fall off the wagon at midnight on the 31st. Which is quite excellent. You've got food-wise, they've got roasted or mashed celeriac. Nothing says, well, at least there's veg in it, like a big spoonful of cheesy leeks. Leek and potato soup being the more sensible choice. And then also roast parsnip soup with Indian spices.
Fair enough.
No, that one I approve of. Definitely. Aye. That's a favourite of mine is like curry soup, if you like.
Aye.
Vegetable curry soup. It's good.
Yeah. Soup is but a vehicle for bread.
Indeed.
Garlic
that always feels like a waste for me. As you know, you try and eat healthy, maybe in January, maybe just random times throughout the year, you try and think I better shift some of this timber, and you make yourself a lovely vegetable, completely free meal, vegetables and stock, and that's it. And then you just ruin it by having 15 slices of buttered bread with it, you know.
No.
So, well, like I say, the kryptonite I've found that is they always less than a pound garlic baguettes.
Okay.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Garlic spaghetti.
Or joy, depending on whatever you want to
we garlic bread balls I found were my kryptonite. This kind of
the garlic dough balls, Pizza Express dough balls.
Mate. I don't know how many packets we bought over the festive period, but I was just fucking lump going through them like Jesus Christ. But no, the book sounds. I'm tempted myself to get it because it sounds really good, and obviously it's an award-winning book as well. Obviously, so congratulations to Johnny on that one. But no, it looks awesome, man.
You can get it off the Camera Bookshop, 16 quid. I suppose you'll get it second hand elsewhere as well.
Well, I probably
Camera Bookshop, 16 quid. I think you can probably get it for the big boys as well, but chuck a couple of quid the Cask Boys way. And,
yes.
You can get on there.
Definitely. Right, I've just a wee bit of fun before we kind of go over our festive highlights and lowlights and stuff and look at other bits and bobs. So we've been to Scott's Dictionary Corner, so I appreciate that. So yes, the book, is called The Year in Beer. So I thought I'd do a wee quiz and do beer in the year. Flip it a wee round. Beer in the year, beer in the year. 2022, a wee quiz for you gentlemen. Gee whiz, time for a quiz. I think this is actually quite decent, this quiz. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, okay.
I've taken a wee bit of time on this. I've not just Googled everything.
100% going to be shit at this.
Most of the breweries involved, I think every single brewery involved or mentioned in this quiz has been on the podcast last year. So there's a wee bit of relevance, or there's at least relevance to every question in terms of podcast guests last year. So I'll keep score. There's 10 questions. There might be, please don't be a tie, because I can't be fucked with that.
I'm going to get 0 out of 10, so it's all right.
No. You should be all right. The first question, however, I'll be surprised if either one of you get this. So question number 1 is, how many new beers did Overtone make in 2022? How many new beers did Overton make in 2022? To give you
Make it closest one gets the point.
closest one will get the point.
Right.
I'll tell you. So they did in 2022 38 rebrews of old beers last year. So how
many brand new
many
beers?
brand new beers? Don't
Right.
you
How many
dare
brews?
Instagram that.
38.
38 new, 30, excuse me, old beers, so rebrews last year. How many new ones did they do? Don't you dare Google.
I'm going to say.
No.
I'm going to say. Well, what was it? 32 rebrews.
38.
38 rebrews. So that makes 14 weeks left over. Because it's generally a beer a week, isn't it? So
Yes.
so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say 18.
Fair enough. Scott,
19.
you are fucking miles off.
But
60.
I win though, right?
You win. 68 new beers.
Wow.
That's unreal.
68.
My original,
job.
I went with 2 beers a week. So my original guess would have been closer at 66. But as soon as he said 18, I was like, no, I'm just going one more. Just make sure I win.
Shut the bed. I'm waiting with 90.
Also, it saves Gavin doing any hard maths.
Appreciate that.
There's no maths in between. But mine was going to be 66 because I thought it was 2 new beers a week.
I
So I
think
went
it,
52 weeks in a year, 2 new beers a week minus the 38 rebrews. I thought that leaves me
you know
with
what?
66.
I think that your calculations were probably right there because I'm pretty convinced they always did 2 new beers and either one new brew or it was just 2 new beers.
Right.
So good thinking there, Scott. So 1-0 to Scott. So if you're in the car or wherever you are listening to this, keep the score at home and let us know how many you get. There is 10 questions, so we're going to go on to question number 2. So according to Untapped, Umbard Brewing have made Stoutzilla how many times? So how many renditions of Stoutzilla has there been? So they do this again. This is an annual beer that they do. Scott, you
I'll
have
guess first.
I guess you go first this time.
10. I'll
Mr.
guess
Muir.
10.
Callum.
I don't think they've been going that long. 9.
I knew that was coming. That's the thing that comes back to bite you in the arse quite
It
quickly.
It certainly does. The correct answer is 6.
I was
So there
my,
is,
my sensible guess. I think there have been 4.
yeah.
I thought that this year's the 2022 was the 4th incarnation, but I've obviously misjudged a wee bit. But
So the
So
reason,
how long have they been gone then?
I can't remember. I need to listen back to the podcast that we did. And if you're listening, you did the exact same thing. I can't remind.
Fuckers.
See, so the reason why I said Untapped is because there's probably a couple of Stoutzillas that were Stoutzilla, but no official, if you know what I mean. So according to
Right.
Untapped, there's been 6.
Okay.
So it's 1-1 on the scores, and we head on to question.
Granny's off. The granny's off.
We head on to question number 3. How many countries does Brewery of the Year Heist export to? So our People's Choice Brewery of the Year for 2022 it was Heist. They beat Umbard to win the crown, and they were talking to us about exporting beer across Europe. And so, how many countries do they export to? Callum, you're first.
I'm going to say 12.
Scott, are you going to do fucking one above
I
or one
did it.
below again?
No.
Didn't be a prick this time.
18.
Interesting. I can tell you one of you has got the answer exactly correct. And
18, isn't it?
the point goes to Mr. Muir. Callum.
I was going to say.
Oh!
The correct answer is 12. Can I give you all 12? Kind of buggery. I should have done more research there.
You should have googled that, mate.
I should have done that. But the answer is 12. This is from
Stephen
the web.
Stephen Fry would have reeled them off.
He would have done.
Richard Osman would have reeled them off too.
I know. I'm not a pro. Not yet. Try my best. Right then, we move on. So it's 2-1 to Callum. And question number 4 is, what is Jawbone Brewing's trademark vehicle, which is depicted on their cans? Scott, They do a beer. It's not, in fairness, it's not in every single can, but they have a rebrew that they do, and it's this vehicle, which he mentioned on the podcast, which is depicted in every single version of this beer. Told you it was right, man. You're first. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? No. Hold on.
Is it buzzers this time?
No. Because if you say what it is, he can see the same thing and you might get the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How you got to do this, Sherlock?
just don't be a dick.
Oh, I've got an answer that I think it is.
You got an answer, Scott?
Might be completely
Scott,
wrong.
you
Yeah.
better not be Googling.
I'm going to message you.
You're going to message me? Right, okay. I message me. Do that.
Right. So you've got his answer, and I'll just give you my answer because I can't be arsed messaging you.
Okay. Anything.
Do you just have to mention the vehicle, or is there a colour?
No, just no colour. Don't worry about colour. Oh, you did it that way? Christ. Right. Callum, what's your answer?
I was going to say a tuk-tuk.
It's close, but it's not right. Scott's answer was a forklift truck, and that is correct.
That's right. Well done. Right, good job.
Because I remember, was it not? It was pink. Was it not
The
pink?
pink
in one of
pink
the-
forklift
the
truck.
pink forklift truck.
Yes.
That's right. Well done.
So it changes colour every can. So there was a yellow, and then there's a pink, and then I don't know what else it's
Mhm.
going to do.
It is yellow, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
See,
Correct.
something in my head initially was like, if he asks for the colour here, I'm going to say green. And I was like, why am I going to say green?
Right, it's 2-2. We're on to question number 5.
Bastard.
So, Swimming in Idaho 7 was a beer brewed by Mirakai Brewing, but can you
Yes.
name the 2 other beers from the Swimming in range? And it's not a clothing range or not a swimsuit range, FYI. They had 3 beers that were called Swimming in blah blah blah. One was Idaho 7. Can you name the other 2?
No. I could give you 2 hops, but
Well, give a guess then. A point for, so like I said, there's 2 answers here, so a point for each.
Sabro and Citra.
You've got 1 point. I'm not going to tell you what it is, Scott.
I've messaged you mine, but I went Simcoe and Sabro. I went for alliteration.
And both answers on that are wrong. So it was Citra and Mosaic. Swimming in Citra and Swimming in Mosaic. So Callum, you take lead 3-2.
Oh,
She told you it was all right, wasn't it? It's not that bad.
aye, good. Aye, you're doing well.
Right then, I know Scott knows the answer to this. Right, which brewery officially was added to the shelves of Morrison's in a collaboration with Northern Monk at the end of the year, and is the brewery's first supermarket beer? I'm going to let Callum you go first because I know Scott knows this answer, or should know this answer.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Mash Gang.
Bingo, Gala bingo, and Scott has said the exact same thing. Point each for that one. Mash Gang. It should be. I think it's on the shelves now. It was officially like released, or they mentioned it at the end of the year. So good job, the guys at Mash Gang.
Go for it.
Head over go to their Instagram page because Mashley's like hilarious on fucking Instagram. It's fucking brilliant. Scores on the doors are. Trust me to turn my page at the right time. It's 4-3, sorry, to
4-3.
Callum. Let's rip that page off so I don't lose that. Wee bit of ASMR for you guys there. Lovely jubbly. This, I've been waiting for this quiz. This is fucking brilliant. Right there. We will be in season 2, the Beerfish podcast, season 2 packs of the Battle of the Breweries as a community card. Can you name one of the other podcast, blog, streamer, or YouTube channels that is joining us? There were 7 in total. We were one of them. Can you name any of the other content creators that will be joining us on the Battle of the Breweries, season 2?
A craft brew with a view.
Callum, your answer?
That one that we were talking about just before. that a women's brew? Is that what it's
Women's
called?
brew. That's the one. That's the one you're mentioning. One of you are right, one of you are wrong, and the point goes to Scott.
Fuck.
A craft brew with a view is the correct answer. The other ones you could have given me was Beer Dad and Brewed, Beer Romantic, Alien Audio, Daft About Craft, Beer Ladies Podcast. So you weren't far away. But you're still wrong.
Aye. Good, but it's not right.
Good, but it's not right. And we're at 4-4. You better no fucking tie. You shouldn't tie. You shouldn't tie. Can you...
that means I'm not getting anywhere right, folks.
No, here we go.
Can you name one UK brewery that made a Brave Noise beer? One UK brewery that brewed a Brave Noise beer. And if it is a draw, I'm going to come back to this and give me another one.
Miracle.
Ah, you're a cunt.
I mean, you can give the same answer.
No,
That's shithousery behaviour there.
6, 7, 8. I think there was 9. One I would like to think.
Did Fierce no make a Brave Noise beer?
Bingo, bingo, gala, bingo.
Yes!
What's the best shop in Wakey? Fucking
Wines.
hate that.
Abdul, go forward. Abdul,
Abdul, go back.
That's absolute cat.
Oh, unbelievable. Let us know if you're listening to this, how you're getting on with the quiz. It'll be interesting to hear your scores as well. Right, 5-5 are the scores. We're on to question number 9. And so, which Scottish brewery won the Camera Award of Champion IPA of Scotland and who also opened a tap room serving such beers as Lost in Mosaic, Southern Summit, and Bonnie and Blonde?
Southern Summit.
They are a champion brewery. They are a champion brewery, but unfortunately, they don't do tours on Saturdays. So it's Loch Lomond is the answer.
He didn't know.
No, I didn't know. You can take that point.
I'll give you that.
Never,
Carl.
I guess, Southern Summit.
Yeah, we had that. We had Southern Summit at the Murrayfield event.
It shows you how memorable the Murrayfield event was.
There is actually a chance.
Or how memorable Southern Summit was.
Either or, exactly.
Nah, to be fair, Southern Summit was actually pretty good on cask.
There is a chance of a tie, which is fine. I do have a question that I did have. And I can go back to the Brave Noise one. So, our last question. So it's 6-5 to Callum. Bruiser had their first collab beer this year. Name the brewery they collabed with. Scott. And it was released right about the time of These Hills Festival, which was in the middle of summer, which doesn't actually help you.
So it wasn't Beak then?
I'm not telling you fuck all. What I've said actually generally is not a hint whatsoever and does not assist you at all. The wonderful guys at Bruiser, one of the best, if not the best, beer subscription service available on the market right now, where you can pick from over 100 breweries and get the beer delivered straight to your door, switch your brewery every single month.
It wasn't Burnt Mill, was it?
Is that your answer?
I'll go with Burnt Mill as a guess. It's a pure guess.
Callum?
Unbarred.
Goes furiously.
Unbarred.
No Googling here.
Unbarred and Burnt Mill are your answers, and both are wrong. The answer is Full Circle.
Full Circle, there you are.
Full Circle was the answer. Anyone know the name of the beer?
Bruiser is good.
Full Circle Brew.
Space Safari.
Nice.
Space Safari was the name. My tie-break question, which is, there's no need for it because Callum, you won 6-5. Led Zeppelin's lead singer, Robert Plant, his son owns a brewery. Do you know which brewery that is?
Oh, I do know that. Where did I hear? Did we talk about that last week?
Don't know. If
Did
we
I hear
did,
that or
if we did, I
did-
must have been pissed.
Did I hear that on another podcast?
How dare you?
I know. It wasn't a beer podcast. There is only one beer podcast.
Well, I just tell you.
No, yeah, tell me. I don't know.
And
I'll-
do you ever got? Do you even have an inkling, Scott?
No, no idea.
Beavertown.
Beavertown. Anyhow.
Oh, there you go. So Noah Brewery then.
No, not really. No, he sold. He got a lovely lump sum of 14 million, I think it was, or something like that.
So does I'm only helping Callum here. Does the Unbarred and Bruiser beer pastry sour they brewed together and on that was thing we done 14th of December 2022 count?
No.
Or to be just
No.
the first one?
No, because the
No, it was
the
question was their first collab.
Yeah.
I thought you were meaning their first and only.
Aye, that's why I said Unbarred, because I knew Unbarred had done a collaboration, but I wasn't sure whether it was the first or not. It's in my fridge.
And by the way, have you tried? I've obviously not tried it. Have
I'm
you?
going to open it just shortly.
Oh, mate, change your world.
I'm going to open it just shortly after I finish this. Beer.
Well, let us know in the comments how you got on with the quiz. I'm quite chuffed with that wee quiz, by the way. I thought it was quite good.
Very good.
I thought that was decent banter for myself there. It looks like, Scott, you might have another beer you want to approve or disapprove. Please enlighten me.
Colonel again.
Get them all.
Nelson. Another
Oh.
tick in the box. And it's but it's a fooder beer.
Oh, no, come on.
4.9%.
Oh, yes.
Fermented in fooder with a blend of our house mixed culture and Belgian ale yeasts. Another thing mentioned in a year in beer is drinking kind of Belgian style traditionally brewed beers, which would obviously sit over the kind of Christmas period.
Mhm.
This is
One
another
of
one. It's excellent. It's got that a wee bit of kind of tang to it. It's got the dryness, draws your jaws together. Lovely colour. It's got a wee bit of funk to it. It's just really interesting to drink, and you enjoy it every mouthful.
Very good.
Perfect. And at 4.9%, it's pretty easy going. Insofar as getting into that kind of further beer style,
Yeah.
it's just perfect. Lovely.
Sounds lovely, cracking beer. If you want to hear what Callum is going to approve or disapprove, or myself for that matter, feel free and head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/beer fridge podcast, for you listening on Spotify or Apple or whatever it may be. This will be the end of the podcast. We're doing things a little bit different for the new year. So if you want to hear some more, here's some festive highlights and lowlights from us, head to the Patreon page. You can sign up for as little as £1.50, gain access to exclusive content, and you can also head to our YouTube page as well. As always, give us a 5-star rating, we much appreciate it. But for you lot, cheery bye.
Beer Fridge Podcast.